Buying secondhand gear can save you a lot of money, and there's a lot of stuff out there that's pretty much brand new, but you can easily get caught out with bad deals as well. Firstly, should you even buy secondhand gear, and is that even safe? Other than a helmet, you should be able to buy pretty much everything else secondhand. You always want to buy a brand new helmet though. There's a lot of people out there selling helmets with the sticker still on them, and they'll say something like they just bought the wrong size or something. But you still don't want to buy even these kind of helmets. You always want to buy brand new from a shop. If the person bought the wrong size, they could have returned it, and you can't be sure of a helmet's history now that somebody else has owned it. If budget is really tight, there's plenty of safe brand new helmets out there. Have a look online for some good deals. Personally, I wouldn't buy gloves or boots secondhand either. I find that my boots and gloves tend not to last me too long, so if I buy something that's already got wear on it, the thing probably just doesn't have a lot of life left in it. But from a safety point of view, boots and gloves should be fine to buy as long as they have no damage on them. Gloves especially tend not to be super expensive anyway, so if it was me, I would just get those brand new anyway. Jackets and trousers though are where you'll save quite a lot of money. There's plenty of good reasons for somebody to be selling off their unwanted gear. People gain and lose weight, people upgrade things, or they give up motorcycling altogether. I wouldn't buy anything that has been crashed in, even if it was leather. Leather, in theory, should be able to hold up for multiple slides, but without being able to look at the thing up close, it's going to be hard to tell from pictures whether the stitching of the jacket or the trousers was damaged too. Leather's generally easy to repair, so even stitches could be run over again with a sewing machine, but personally I wouldn't want to have to do this. By the time you pay for someone to repair crashed leathers, you probably could have just bought something brand new or something that's in better condition to start with. If you're buying the gear in person and can have a good look at it, inspect all the stitches and seams for damage, even if the person says they haven't been crashed in. Leathers aren't as easy to clean as textiles, since you can't just throw them in the washing machine. You can clean the outside with leather cleaning products, but you'll probably want a way of cleaning the lining on the inside too. If you're buying a one-piece suit, check with the seller to see if the lining is removable, because a lot of them are, and you can just machine wash that. Separate jackets and trousers don't tend to have removable inner linings, and I'm not talking about the thermal liner, I mean the actual mesh liner that's fixed to the jacket. So you'll have to sponge wash them with some soapy water or use some kind of disinfectant sprays. With textiles, you definitely don't want to buy crashed gear. Textiles are typically one and done after a crash, and they don't repair as well or as easily. If you're buying old but intact gear, bear in mind that any waterproof coating applied to the clothing is likely to have worn off by now, and you'll need to reapply it with some sprays or some washing waterproofers. This might even be why the person's selling it. Textiles are pretty easy to clean, since a lot of them you can just machine wash with the right products. Secondhand gear is likely not to meet CE standards. The new CE standards only came into force in 2018, and a lot of gear has still been sold since, which doesn't adhere to the new rules. On secondhand gear, you're unlikely to see A, AA or AAA ratings, and armour might just be bits of foam rather than proper CE approved armour. Ask the seller about the CE rating and any present armour when you're buying the gear. Again, by the time you swap out the foam for proper armour, you might have been able to find a good deal on some brand new end of line or clearance stock. It might be the case that the thing they're selling they've only owned for a year or two, and it does actually meet CE standards and has proper armour in there, in which case it's probably quite a good deal. Ask the seller if the gear comes from a smoke and a pet-free home. Even if you're a smoker or a pet owner yourself, it can be very difficult to clean strong smells out of gear, and you might just not want the hassle. I bought my tail bag secondhand for £15, which was a great deal, but it took me a week and probably £20 worth of cleaning products before I could get all of the smoke smell out of it. It was still worth it over buying new, but it's good to know what you're getting yourself into before you have the gear show up at your house. If the seller lies to you, you should be covered if you're buying from somewhere like eBay, but if you're buying from somewhere like Facebook Marketplace, you'll pretty much have no protection if the gear arrives in much worse condition than advertised, so just bear that in mind. Secondhand gear isn't your only option if you're looking to save some money. Often, you can find good deals in the clearance section of Sports Bike Shop, Infinity, JNS, and some similar shops. Personally, this is how I've bought pretty much all of my gear. Almost all of it was brand new, but I never pay full price for anything. If there's something that I want, I just wait for it to go on sale, or I browse clearance or sale sections and see if I can get anything at a good price. Bike shows are a good place if you want to haggle a little bit, but I haven't found deals to be much better than just buying online personally. Ordering from EU websites used to be a good way to get gear for cheap, but you have to pay so many taxes and import duties now that it's not really worth it anymore. I find that eBay doesn't seem to be a great place to buy secondhand gear. I just don't find a lot of good deals on there. Vinted seems to have a much better selection, and personally I don't use Facebook Marketplace, but I know of a lot of people who buy things off there. Motorcycling doesn't have to be expensive, and you can find gear out there that's hardly been worn for half the price of new. I recently bought a one-piece leather suit for under £200. The same suit brand new is £400. When it arrived, it looked like it had been worn less than 5 times, so I got a really good deal on it, and I have some money left over to get it tailored to fit me perfectly. Equally, there's a lot of bad deals out there, so it's a bit of a gamble sometimes. If you want to buy brand new gear that's inexpensive, I recommend looking at brands like RST and Oxford. Let me know your experiences with buying secondhand or getting a good deal on some brand new gear. Safe riding, and I'll see you in the next one.